I welcome you to Beyond Grief and Loss series. My intent here is to create awareness about how, as a grief coach, I can help you move past your grief and loss. Today, I'll share with you a story from my coaching world. This is a story of Anna. Anna has been an accountant for past 7 years, and with a good track performance, she has been quite successful in her role. Anna reached out to me just a month ago, and this was a time when she had left a 7 years old organization that she had given her dedicated hours and work and was now working in a different organization. The first 2 sessions when Anna met me, she explained how she, on a daily basis, feels anxious, stressed, and also a bit fearful. I suggested, Anna, let's do a deep dive session. So we went for a deep dive session, and what we learned after that was something related to her past organization's performance. That was a time when Anna was also undergoing some personal crisis, and because she couldn't really manage those personal crises, nor did she sought any help, eventually she turned out into a frustrated, confused, directionless, not just an individual but also an employee. This led to a series of episodes where she ended up in an argument with her supervisor, missing deadlines, and also constantly in conflict with the HR department. Cutting the long story short, she was in a complete mess. Finally, she decided that the best way out of it was to quit, and she did that. Without any forethought, she resigned and found herself another job. Working with people undergoing a job loss grief is also one such case of Anna. Now you must be wondering, where's the job loss here? She left one job and she found another. But in the current job, while Anna thought that she would find a solution just simply by quitting her previous organization, in her current organization as well, Anna was going through a tough time. She was all the time stressed, anxious, with a constant fear. And after the deep dive session, we learned that the main reason for that was her fear that her current organization will come to learn about what she did in her previous organization. On the face of it, friends, sometimes these issues and things seems very trivial. We may not really pay so much attention. But sometimes when we go through personal crisis and we do not address them the right way, we may get stuck in it for a very long time. This was exactly what was happening in Anna's case. She was not a bad performer, neither a bad employee. But because of her personal crisis, which she didn't cope the right way, her stress and anxiety was taking a toll on her, her productivity dipped, and eventually she quit her job in a kind of a reaction to things that she couldn't really control. Now in her new job, while she thought that she found a solution, she again found herself in almost a very similar web. A web of complex emotions, stress, anxiety, guilt, and a constant fear that her colleagues would come to learn about how bad a performer she was. I put Anna to different techniques within coaching, which we usually do with people who hold a lot of fear and deep dive sense of low self-esteem, low self-worth, and those who might develop a worry behavior. After 4 sessions, Anna was really able to really put to rest the demons in her head. Not just that, she also understood that most of her fears and the stress that she was into was actually baseless. Plus, the personal crisis that made her behave in these weird ways, she also found a direction as to what would be a best way to tackle that. Slowly, me and Anna, together, we also created a forward action plan for her. A plan that would help her, given her role within accounting, and as she was growing in her career, her responsibility increased, along with the roles and seniority that she was working in. So we also developed a plan as to how and what will be the best methods that she could adapt moving forward, so that challenges, trials, or any such thing that she might encounter in her personal life, she would still be able to not really dip her productivity and her performance. Instead, manage both her work and her personal life in a more effective way. So friends, this was just a basic glimpse, a coaching story from my coaching world that I bring to you. As I mentioned, my intent is to let you know how grief coaches work, especially people like me who specialize in assisting those who've been through a job loss experience. Going through a job loss may not necessarily be that we are fired. It sometimes can also be where we take hasty decisions, quit our roles on account of reasons that we don't fully understand, and then again land up in a web without the right approach and get into the vicious circle of anxiety and stress. If these things are not properly addressed, they might last a lifetime and can be a major hindrance in our career projection. So friends, I suggest, and I also think, after having heard of Anna's short story in a very brief way, if you could relate to some of it or some aspects of it, or to most of it, or if you could think of any of your colleague or friend or someone you care about, perhaps very similar to Anna, the best thing that they could do is to hire a coach so that they don't really have to go through what Anna did. Thank you so much. If you have any comments or any topic that you want me to address, do feel free to write to me on the email address that I share in the comment box. Thank you for your time, and I'll talk to you soon.